Hey guys, and welcome back on my YouTube channel. It's your boy Troll, and in today's video we're gonna be checking the best 5 Spirit Legendary Heroes as of 2025. The votes have now been finished today. We have checked the last votes you had sent to us, so make sure we're gonna calculate everything together and make sure that the list is reflecting what do you think about the best legendary heroes in 2025 for the Spirit gender. Now we're gonna be checking it out in a moment, but as always, make sure guys to check the link in the description. You can find my referral link there. Basically, if you open the link, you can open your own brand new Raid Shadow Legends account and download the game. By doing so, through my link, you'll get the best 5 epic heroes in the game. No one has those heroes. Those are the best heroes. I got them specially for you to have an amazing start in the game. So make sure to check that referral link, because together we can start a brand new journey in Raid Shadow Legends in 2025. Now, I'm not gonna waste any more of your time. Let's go and check what are the best legendary heroes from the Spirit gender in this game as of today, based on your feedback and your votes.
Welcome back.
So on top 5 you have all voted for RN Archer, who will be on top 5 position as of the Spirit Legendary Heroes February 2025 top 5 position. This has been your choice. We have seen a lot of votes for these heroes, so yeah, we're gonna go over it. First of all, we can see that the attack is not as nice I would expect from this champion, but it is after all a defense champion, so actually it shouldn't be that high. Now if we're gonna go and check the aura, we're gonna see indeed the defense augmentation in the dungeons by 30% as of today, because after all it's a defense champion. Now if we're gonna go switch very quickly, very briefly to the passive, we're gonna be seeing and looking at the heals all allies by 10% of their max HP when attacking enemies under a hex debuff. If there are multiple champions on the team with this skill, only one will activate. Now, however, very important to note, increase this champion defense by 5% each time this champion receives a hit from an enemy under a hex debuff, and you can stack it up to 30%, which is very important to remember when thinking about this passive. Now we're gonna be looking at her very important skill, level 3 rapid shot. So attacks all enemies, places a hex debuff for 2 turns and a provoke debuff for 1 turn. If the target is a boss, places a hex debuff for 3 turns and a provoke debuff for 2 turns instead. Now the damage is based on defense, since it is indeed a defense hero. Very important. Remember that all those heroes on those top 5 lists that we are creating for you based on the feedback from the population, we are making sure that you understand which heroes you should invest your legendary books in. Therefore, we're gonna be looking at 100% chance of placing a stun debuff for 1 turn after you book this hero, and you should book this hero. After all, we're talking about top 5 Spirit Legendary Heroes as of February 2025 based on the opinion of the public and the skilled players of this game. So make sure to always remember that when you listen to me. Now, very important, then we're gonna be looking at the target is a boss, has a 100% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns instead. And then if the decreased turn meter enemies, okay, so the basic attack is places a 50% increased accuracy buff on this champion for 2 turns as well, based on defense. So you want to build this champion with a lot of defense, a lot of speed, and all the other stats. Very important, very smart to do. Now this is the top 5. Let's go and see who have you voted for top 4. So position number 4, you have voted for Feral. This is the choice of the public. Personally, I disagree with your choice. For me, Feral sounds like a top SSS tier hero right now on top 1 position, but after all, this is from you to you for you, therefore you have voted him to be on top 4. Now let's look, why do you think this champion should be top 4, not top 1 as of February 2025? First of all, in all the battles he will increase your resistance by 60, very important. Again, we are looking at another defense hero, hence why the attack is so low, so you do not expect this attack to be higher since it's a defense hero. If we're gonna look into his spell tree, Aurora Cloak, level 1, but again guys, legendary heroes, this is my video, so you invest in those legendary books. Yes, we come, you're gonna push it to 2, 4 turns cooldown, places a 50% increased resistance buff on all allies for 3 turns, and also places a perfect veil buff on all allies. Expect this champion for 2 turns. This is a perfect champion for the hybrid. Yes, indeed. And then we're gonna go look at Boreal Groft. Attacks all enemies, has a 75%, but you're gonna increase it to a 100% chance of placing a 50 decrease attack debuff and block blast for 2 turns. If the target is a boss, it will also ignore 20% of the target's resistance. Therefore, it is very important that you increase this resistance. Now, we're gonna then go and check his basic attack. Attack one enemy, has a 80% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. If the target is a boss, it will also ignore his resistance. Did I read it twice? No, it's the same skill, but with different effects. So very important, top 4 hero, based on the public vote. There you go. Interesting choice. Now we are looking at your top 3 choice based on your votes, based on the results. Gnut will take your hearts and steal this top 3 position as of 2025 February. Best Spirit Legendary heroes. No surprise there. Another defense hero on this list. Top 3 Gnat. Let's check it out. Now for those who don't know Gnat yet, this is the most broken hero. Personally, I also disagree with your choice, guys. I think he is a top 1, but let's look why you think he's top 3. Now first of all, he will increase accuracy in all dungeons by 80% as his aura. Therefore, he will be the ultimate leader for your teams. We're gonna be also looking at his passive, no holding back, no back, NHB. When counter-attacking, deals 100% of damage instead of 75, which is just crucial for this hero when you're gonna build him. Then we're gonna be looking at his S3 Blessed Bash. Attacks one enemy 3 times. Each hit decreases the target defense by 3% and you stack it up to 30%. Also very important not to forget that each hit also heals this champion by 30%, and the damage is obviously based on max HP, hence why Gnut was basically the award-winning champion in 2023 for the faction wars as of the public voters. Now if we're gonna look at his spell 2, Fury of the King, attacks all enemies, has 100% because obviously you're gonna book this champion. This is a champion who's top 3 on our Spirit Legendary as of February 2025, so obviously you do want to put those books into this champion. So we're gonna be looking at a 100% chance of placing a 50% decreased attack debuff and a 25% weakened debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Also places a counter attack buff on this champion for 2 turns. You can decrease the cooldown to 3 turns, which will basically make this champion an incredible champion. Now if we're gonna look at his basic attack, Dwarven Might, attacks one enemy 3 times. Yes, so this is your top 3 choice, guys. It's an amazing hero. I think we all agree Gnut should be on the list. He is on the list, so we did well. Thank you. Top 2. In place 2 position, top 2 position, best of Spirit Legendaries as of February 2025, we have all voted for Duchess Lilith. Now yes, it is Raid Shadow Legends, it is not Diablo Immortal, so there you go, we have Duchess Lilith on top 2. You have all voted for her to hold this position. As you can see, her skin is amazing. I wish we could turn it a little bit more, but here we are. Now, why have you voted for her to be on top 2? Let's see. First of all, her aura will increase the speed in all battles by 90%. This is very low, but I guess we take it. Now we're gonna be looking at her passive. This is where she starts shining. This is where she starts basically looking at you and telling you, pick me. Decrease the damage taken by all allies from AoE attacks by 25%, 50% from bosses. This is basically a game-changing passive when it comes to defending your team, making sure they survive, making sure that the numbers you're gonna see on your screen are not that high. And then we're gonna be looking at her skill number 3, revive all allies, all dead allies with 70% HP. This is very high. It's not 100, it's not 19, it's not 80, it's 70%, which is amazing because it's not 60, it's not 50, it's not 40, etc. Places a veil buff on all allies. Expect this champion for 1 turn, and then places a 50% continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is an amazing champion to make sure that you survive, that you continue, and that you don't abandon. Now in terms of her S2, we're gonna be looking at a place Shroud of Soul. Places a block debuff and a 50% increased attack buff on all allies for 2 turns, and then places a perfect veil buff on all allies except this champions for 2 turns. If you want to be a ninja and disappear, you want to have her on your your team. She will make a perfect combination between you see me, you don't see me. And then her basic attack one enemy 2 times, then places a shield buff equal to 10% of this champion max HP for 2 turns on this champion and the ally with the lowest HP, which is incredible when you think about those shields, how often she gonna put those shields. Those shields will be everywhere, so make sure to increase her HP to have the shields. Now this is your chop choice 2, choice number 2 for best spirit legendaries as of February 2025. Thank you very much for your opinions, guys. We appreciate every single vote you have left on our website. Now guys, for those who are watching, if you agree or disagree with our choices, leave us a comment why you think you're wrong and you should agree with us. Now let's go and see who have you selected for top 1 in this video. As of your choice today, top 1, cherry on the cake, top position, pole position, we're gonna be looking at Theodore the Savant. Yes, you have selected Theodore to be number 1. The most votes have been counted now for Theodore. He is a support legendary hero from the spirit gender. We really appreciate your work together to put him on top 1. You have all agreed on that. We're gonna see why do you think this is the best spirit legendary as of February 2025. Let's see and check what it starts. It starts with the aura, where it increases accuracy in all battles by 50%, which will basically make your team look better. Now we're gonna look at the passive. This passive is incredible because it will basically Fumigator. This champion's resistance increased by 5%, by 5, actually not 5%, it's only 5 for each poison debuff on the enemy team, which is very important. Resistance increased, Fumigator, we appreciate it. Now everything starts to be juicy when we start looking at his skill number 3, Chemistry. Increase the duration of all poisons debuff and HP burns debuff on enemies by 1 turn. Then instantly activates any poison debuff and HP burn debuff on each enemy. Places also a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns on enemies not under poison debuffs or HP burn debuffs. This skill is basically making your game easy. This change everything in the game. This will basically push your account through the stars directly into the climax. That's why Theodore is so high on the list, because we all know what he can do as a top 1 spirit gender legendary champion as of February 2025. Now if we're gonna go and look at his spell number 2, Savant Savvy, has a 75% chance, but we obviously gonna put all our books into this champion that we have worked so good for a year. Has a 100% chance of placing 5% poisons debuff on a 25% sensitivity debuff on enemies for 2 turns. Also places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is just incredible, guys. Like, we have to appreciate how strong this hero is based on the definition of strongness. I mean, like, look at him. This is the perfect chat. This is the top 1 spirit gender legendary champion as of February 2025. Now if we're gonna go and look at his S1 basic attacks, per number 1 attacks all enemies, has a 30% chance of placing a 30% decreased speed debuff for 2 turns. Now the damage is based on defense, so we have to appreciate it.